Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So we're out here today building yet another A-frame style chicken tractor. So we're gonna start off by doing a little work on this chicken tractor today. I'm not gonna be able to finish it today, but for you, it'll all be in the same video. Now, we already are running two of these A-frame style chicken tractors and we absolutely love this style. So we do run a Salatin style and we put meat birds in them, but we continue to have a little bit of a problem trying to get all the meat birds out of the Salatin style tractor. So what I think I'm going to do is we're going to start running all of our layers in these and perhaps even build one more of these to put our meat birds in. Now the first year that we had meat birds, we actually had them exclusively in the barn. We didn't run them on pasture, and we figured out pretty quick why people run them on pasture and why we wanted to run them on pasture. So what I've been doing lately is starting this year, we're running batches of chickens earlier in the year, starting in March, and then we're running them all the way straight through the last batch in June, which means it gets processed at the end of July. And those batches are about 20 chickens a piece. And the reason is I want to be able to do processing once a month, come out here once a month and process 20 chickens and be done in the early afternoon, rather than spending an 8, 9, 10-hour day processing chickens, and at the end of the day you're beat and you don't want to do it again all year long. You don't want to keep torturing yourself with that, right? So we're doing smaller batches this year. We're doing them earlier in the year, and I think it's going to work out better for us. Now, I've already got the frame built on this. As you can see, the ridge pole is right here. Then we got all our frame supports. So I'm going to start screwing these on, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about why we like this chicken tractor so much. Cost-wise, that Salatin style tractor was actually about the same as this A-frame. So this is the third A-frame chicken tractor we've built. And over the prototype and then the second one that we built going into the third one, I figured out ways that we can reduce the time it takes to build them and also reduce the cost. In the case of this chicken tractor, what I'm actually doing is recycling some old barn metal roofing. So we got some from a buddy of mine, called me up one day and said, hey, they're taking down some barns and all the metal roofing is still pretty good. Do you want it? I said, absolutely. This is exactly why I wanted it, because getting used metal roofing or getting used poly roofing really reduces the cost of any chicken tractor, whether you're doing these A-frame or you're doing a Salatin style or you're doing a Siskovich. Well, somebody's got a twisted sense of humor. These short screws have a different bit than the 2.5 inch. Why would you do that? I can run this, which has got more square footage and has all the headroom and the flexibility of being for layers or for meat birds for the same cost, and it's much more ergonomical. So I'm not really knocking the Salatin style tractor. They do have their purpose if you're running a lot of meat birds, but for us, we never quite know what kind of bird is going into our tractor. And also, you know, if you have a lot of square footage and you only have like 6 birds and something like this, if you miss a day moving the tractor, it really is not a big deal because they have so much square footage. And that happens sometimes. Sometimes you want to go away for the weekend or something like that. Somebody's watching your chickens, they can feed them, but you don't really want them to move them around and everything. So if they have a little bit of extra square footage, it's always to your advantage. Now, if you see this chicken tractor being built and you see it all completed and you like what you see, we do have downloadable PDF plans on our website. So I always put the link to those or to our website in the description below. I'll put a link right to the chicken tractor plans for you. If you do want a kind of like a walkthrough on how to build one of these, say you buy the plans, the link to that YouTube video is actually on our website with the plans. We do a kind of a detailed build on all this. Now, I don't go through all the detail of doing the layer boxes and everything, but it's basically a walkthrough on how to go ahead and get yourself one of these and have a blank slate to raise your own meat birds or start raising some layers. One of the other things that you can do as well that we did on the other tractors is you can actually roll flat black paint onto the hardware cloth once you're all done. And that's a pretty cool effect. You can actually just watch the chickens or watch the hardware cloth disappear so you can see your chickens a lot easier. I highly recommend that. I've done it to all of our chicken tractors. I'm going to do it to this. If you're somebody that doesn't want to roll the paint, well, you can buy black vinyl coated hardware cloth on Amazon. I did see it. I think it was like $20 more for the roll than the regular stuff. And that right there would save you quite a bit of time. While we're at it, one of the other things that I'm going to be changing on this chicken tractor and adding on to all of our others is some sunblock. So we run these tractors right through our pasture. We're on the top of a hill. It gets very hot and arid during the summer. And in the winter months, it gets very rainy and windy. So in the winter months, the chickens are constantly pelted by rain and wind. And in the summertime, they're constantly hot. So we bought a 6 foot wide, 50 foot long, this is going to be 90% shade cloth. So it blocks 90% of the light and the UV rays. And we're gonna run that right here, starting at the bottom, we're gonna run it over the A-frame, and it's gonna cover from this post to this post. Now from this post over, it's covered by roofing. So what this is gonna do is it's gonna hang off over both sides. We'll probably put a board on the bottom to weight it down and then lock it down somehow. So on the windy days or the rainy days, if we want, we can drop this down and give them protection. And on the nice days like today, we can roll it all the way up to the peak, lock it into place, and then the chickens have the nice little breeze that we got going on today, or just get the fresh air. But that's something that we've desperately needed, is to get the chickens a little bit more protection in the inclement weather. All right, so our driveway isn't perfectly level, so I got this corner all jacked up right here. That way everything's nice and flat, because we gotta start putting on the blocking and we gotta start putting on our metal roofing. So before I do that, I gotta just double check our blocking spacing. I just wanna make sure that we're on par with our plans here, which we're perfect right now. All right, so we got all our blocking in. Now it's time to put on the roof. This is the reclaimed roofing that I was talking about earlier. Got a little bit of a surface patina on it, but it's still pretty stable. There's no holes or anything except for a couple where they mounted it, and those will get covered up when I remount it. So I think we're good to go. My only problem was they're about 7 feet long, and this is 8 feet in length where we're putting down these panels. So I had to cut 1 or 2 of them down just into little sections like this. We'll screw it right to the blocking. Then we'll overlay the 7 foot section like this, and we'll be good. So I kind of like having this little patina look, because one of our tractors has a white roof, one has a tan roof, and now one will have kind of a rusty roof. So when my wife and I are communicating about which tractor needs what, it kind of makes it a little bit easier to say, hey, you know, the white tractor or the tan tractor or the rusty tractor, whatever. So, you know, it's kind of nice to use reclaimed stuff, and it's nice that they all 3 of them look different. As I talked about yesterday, our hardware cloth was coming in the mail, and it looks like it just showed up in the mail today while I was at work. I just got home from work and I'm jumping right into the chicken tractor. We got our roof on, that's looking really good. All we need to do now is put on the hardware cloth. Then we'll get the front framed up, get the door on, get the hinges, the latch and everything on. Then I have a couple little trinkets down here. We're gonna test those out today. If they work really good, I'll show you guys what's going on there. And if you like them, I'll put the link down in the description below. Not affiliated, not sponsor, just there if you need it. Alrighty. Easy, easy. All right. All right, so the first trinket I'm gonna try is this little guy right here. And I bought this off of Amazon. This screws right into a screw gun. And as you turn the screw gun, you have one gripping wheel and then kind of one cutting wheel. It really looks like it just pinches right in between here. This is kind of an idler wheel, and this is a drive wheel. So as it goes through, it's kind of like a scissor, a rolling scissor. And it can cut sheet metal and cut welded wire and chicken wire. One of the things I try to do with these projects is not only reduce the cost, but reduce the amount of work I'm putting on my arms and my hands and reduce the time. So this was pretty cheap. I figured it was worth a shot, and if it works, well, you'll find the link in the description below. Oh, yes. Well, the patina tractor is coming out pretty nice. I'm really glad we switched to the 6-foot hardware cloth. It came out a lot better. And it was a lot quicker and easier than trying to seam two pieces together right here of the 4-foot stuff. So I'm really happy we made that switch. I'll probably switch the plans on our website to reflect what I did on this tractor. So what do we have left? I'm gonna hang the 2 door frame uprights right here. We'll get the hardware cloth on the 2 corners right here. Go ahead and put the door on, hinge it, put a latch on it. Then all I gotta do is go ahead and put a roost in here, maybe a feeder or something hanging off of this side on the inside. Then the only thing I have left to do is put a piece of ridge cap on here, and all I'm gonna do for that is actually just probably bend one of these pieces of metal roofing right in half in that V shape, just put it on top and screw it on and call it good. So we're getting close. Let's go ahead and get the door on. All right, so we got this all loaded up on the trailer. I was able to do it by myself, which is good because Gabrielle's busy. So anything I can do by myself is much better for her. So we got the cable on right here so we can pull that around with the side-by-side and the four-wheeler. You saw me get all the hardware on. We got the drip edge on. I do this just so people don't put their hand on the tractor and cut themselves on the 2 edges of the hardware cloth. So that's a little bit of safety protection there. You saw me get the roost on. There are 2 things I have left to do. One is I got to get the ridge cap on here, and 2, I got to get a feeder put together for this. So normally right back in this corner, I just make a little trough, like a gutter, and I just hang it right off the side of the chicken tractor right there. Seems to work pretty good as long as it's level and not at the angle of the tractor. Then the chickens can just pull all the feed out. Learned that one the hard way. So this is all loaded up anyways. I'm gonna go ahead and eat dinner, then we're gonna come back out with the whole family, bring this up the field and get Jacob's chickens all moved out to pasture. It's not going anywhere.
You ready?
Yep. All right, let me I'm gonna go ahead and disconnect the trailer. You guys can probably start bringing them in.
You want us to start bringing them over?
Yeah.
I put her on the roof and she's still there.
I gotta figure out what's going on.
Let's go, guys. Hi.
There's like a little bit struggle. It's okay.
All right, well, Jacob's got all his chickens in their new home. They're a little loud right now and stressed out, but they'll calm down over the course of tonight. So, aside from getting Jacob's chickens over in the big pasture, we also brought our leghorns, our black copper Marans, and the gold lace Wyandottes over here from our smaller pasture, which means our entire fleet of layer tractors is in the big pasture. So I'm pretty happy about that. Less driving around, less walking around. The only other tractor we do have is for the meat birds, and that's over in the small pasture still. And I like to keep it over there because it's pretty shaded all day long, and it keeps those big old fat birds nice and comfortable. All right, so now all the pullets are over here in the pasture. That means we are done for today and done for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, hit the like button for us. It does help us out a lot. If you want to watch our homestead grow, make sure you hit the subscribe button. We would love to have you along for the journey. Oh, Mango. We hope you have a great day.